Hi, I'm Sahara Dewey and I'm the author of the Art of Self-Loving book, and I'm also a volunteer for Vision Australia in Kooyong at the head office there. So I've been asked to do a few simple techniques to help deal with anxiety and self-isolation and depression and all the components that come with that. Obviously, we're in a time at the moment which is imposing a lot of self-isolation. So one of the things I specialise in is dealing with anxiety, with depression, with overwhelm, with fear. I work with many people to try and teach them techniques to deal with all these aspects that come from particularly anxiety and being isolated. And we are in a time of isolation. So I've been asked to share some of the tools that I've designed. So I've got 4 that I'm going to share with you, and these can be done at anywhere at any time to help you deal with when you're feeling overwhelmed by the situation, or frightened, or nervous, or anxious, or scared. Now, I need to be really clear that it's okay to feel any of those emotions. I think as humans, we naturally feel like a rainbow of emotions. It's a bit like the Melbourne weather. It can change in any moment. Melbourne weather they laugh and say it has 4 seasons in one day. Our emotions are the same. So we can go from feeling really, really calm in a moment to then in a full-blown panic and anxiety experience. And it's okay to feel any and all of these wide range of emotions at any time during the day. What I teach is how to navigate the way through an anxiety attack, through a panic attack, through feeling completely overwhelmed or worried or frightened about what am I going to do, what if this happens, what if that happens. So my experience with this is because I've lived this. So I have been a person that has experienced lots of anxiety in my life, and I wanted to find ways, because I'm very impatient. So I wanted to find ways that I could do them and practice them in my own time without having to go and sit on a mountain in the Himalayas and meditate for hours on end. What could I do that would be really easy? So here are the 4 techniques that I'm going to teach you. The first one I call what the. Now this is because when we go and have an anxiety attack, our adrenals ramp up. Massively ramp up, and the cortisone in the adrenals just goes flooding throughout our bodies, and we kind of go into this position where we don't know whether we want to run or whether we want to fight. So it floods our nervous system, and our nervous system goes into overwhelm, and lots of people do this. So the blood goes from their head and it goes into the extremities, so their legs or their arms, to run away from the perceived problem or fear or worry, or fight it. So lots of people you find do this naturally. Now the reason for that is there are 2 beautiful points on your head that are reflexology points or acupuncture points that actually can calm down the nervous system. So what you need to do is you take your thumb and your forefinger and you just put it at the top of your head, so just above, just on your hairline really, there are 2 points there, and you just gently hold them or rub them. Now what this does is it activates a message in the brain to remind the nervous system to calm down. And while you're doing this, you need to take very deep breaths, because when we go into anxiety, our breath shallows and we start to either take faster, shorter breaths, or we hold our breath. And that puts the nervous system into more overwhelm and more fear or fight or flight position. So if you're just holding here, and you can rub either using aromatherapy oils if you've got them, or just holding, and you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now I would say breathing in through the nose to the count of 5. And then out through the mouth to the count of 5 while holding for at least 30 seconds. Now you can do this driving, you can do this pushing a trolley in the supermarket, you can do it anywhere. It doesn't matter where you do it, but it absolutely starts to remind and calm you down. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. While you're doing this, you can also, if you want to, put your hand on your heart, because that reminds us about coming back into center again. You know, calming our bodies down, calming ourselves down, self-nurturing ourselves to get out of this anxiety feeling. The other one you can do is what I call hold your own hand. Now that is because sometimes walking around the supermarket doing this might create a little bit of attention. So this one is called holding your own hand. Again, there are some acupuncture points on the wrist that calm you down. So lots of people, if they go into fear or worry or panic, they may pass out, or their blood sugar level drops considerably because of this adrenaline that's taking over. So you just hold your own hand, and then that calms you down as well. Again, with the breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth technique. I've done this in meetings. I've done this in many numerous occasions. If I'm in a social position where I'm feeling overwhelmed, I hold this. So you can just sit quietly and hold there. No one knows you're doing it. So that's called hold your own hand. The third technique is to get out in nature as often as you can. You know, we're allowed to go for walks at the moment. It is really important to be in nature as often as you can. So if it's walking, if you're lucky enough to be near the beach, walk in the beach. If you're lucky enough to be near a park, walking in the park. Sit in your garden, being anywhere that you can be near trees or be on the grass. Now the next tip to this is actually taking your shoes off. Now the reason for that is scientists have proven again and again that actually having your bare feet on the earth, again there's a lot of points, acupuncture points on the bottom of your feet, that stimulates a message up to your brain again to remind it, okay, let's calm everything down, let's calm the nervous system down. So wherever you can, take your shoes and socks off. If you can't do that, or you live in a balcony, try and have a pot plant around you or animals around you. All of these things, anything to do with nature, is absolutely going to calm your nervous system down. The fourth one is to either have if you're lucky enough to be by the sea, then go for as many swims as you can, or put your feet in the sea. If not, have a bath with salt. So I'm talking pink Himalayan salt is probably the best one to buy from Coles or the local supermarket, and you need to have at least 3 handfuls in a bath. If you haven't got a bath, lots of my clients don't have baths, so I advise them to buy a very cheap bucket and fill the bucket with water, and again put 3 or 4 handfuls of salt in the bucket of water, and then put their feet in there. Again, the salt in the water, again, is another calming technique. You can add aromatherapy to that if you'd like to, or you can just have the salt, it doesn't matter. So they are the 4 techniques that I'm going to share with you at the moment. So the first one is Wata, which is the points here. Second is holding your hand. Third is getting out in nature or being with animals as much as you can and having bare feet on the earth. And the fourth one is being in salt water or saltwater bath or saltwater foot baths. If you have any questions about any of these, please email Anastasia at head office, and she will email the questions to me, and then in my next video I'll answer some of those questions along with some other techniques to help you. So during this time, I hope they help. Please stay safe, be kind to yourself and compassionate with yourself. Take care.